Mhm. Okay. 1 second. While I get everything in order. Good. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. And what better way to come back than the LA fires? LA has currently been on fire for a while. And I am. Those fires that you've seen covering the Hollywood sign are actually fake. Yeah. That part was not true. But there are some pretty decent photos of what looks like hell on earth for LA. Let's get into it with some of these satellite images. Oof. Dang. Looking at it from here, definitely look like it spreads pretty fast. Okay, we don't need to see. Alright. Let's. This is completely blind, so I wasn't aware that this was just going to be a bunch of people talking. But yeah. Shh. Dang. That fire moves fast. Even though it's a time lapse, I can tell it moves pretty fucking fast. Shh. That sure is something. Damn. But apparently in all of this chaos, a firefighting aircraft was hit by a drone.
The Super Scooper right there. These are airplanes that are on loan. We actually leased them from Canada during fire season. Well, we understand that Super Scooper was hit by a drone while flying in the Palisades fire this afternoon. We're told the plane is expected to be able to fly again tomorrow. That's very good news because typically we only have 2 of these. Crews out there have the drone that hit the plane. The FAA wants to remind people it's a federal crime to interfere with firefighters and their.
Oof. Well, that's a problem for the modern era with the drone technology going around these days. You're gonna, if you're in an airplane, your chances of hitting a drone have increased drastically.
Operations, and flying a drone near wildfires is not only dangerous, it's not recommended, it's illegal. This aircraft, as I said, once again.
Oh, flying drones near wildfires is illegal? I had no idea, actually. That's important.
Expected to fly tomorrow. We can tell you David Bigger is with us right now. You not only are a pilot, but you know a lot about this. The whole drone system.
Oh yeah, by the way, did you guys know whenever someone says subscribe on YouTube, on a YouTube video, the subscribe logo does a little shining thing, has a little animation? I thought that was neat.
Situation being up over the area.
Well, yeah, so the thing is, as soon as fires start breaking out, one of the first things that they start coordinating at the FAA is putting up a flight restriction. There's a flight restriction over the entire Palisades fire from the surface up to 7,000 feet. Now, most drones aren't allowed to be operating above 400 feet anyways, so anywhere within that area, not allowed. Part of the concern that always exists for firefighting aircraft is they're flying pretty low. They're doing a lot of water drops and retardant drops. And if a drone, let's just say, was sitting at 400 feet or something like that, some people do fly higher than that, which is not allowed. But if a drone is at 400 feet and they're going in to try to make some sort of precision water drop, they can end up striking that. That's always the concern. And in previous fires, we've had instances where a drone gets spotted and all the air attack aircraft get told, okay, everybody back off for a minute. We're going to see if that drone is still there, because it is a threat to the aircraft. They got probably pretty lucky that it hit the nose of the aircraft and not any of the engines or anything like that.
Well, yeah, you look at these, you look at the fixed wing there.
Oof. Oof. Yeah, and God knows how many people are going to go out there with drones now to the LA fires that are still going on. Unfortunately, Hollywood did not burn down yet. And that photo with the fire consuming the Hollywood sign was, I think it was AI generated.
And then you think about the choppers, they're all rotors. If a drone was to get clipped with one of those rotors or go into the rotors, I mean, it could be catastrophic.
Yeah, so the thing is, I mean, you're thinking about most...
Okay, these people are just talking about nonsense right now. Well, not nonsense, but we already know the dangers of drones and aircrafts by now. Don't fly your drones near wildfires. Illegal, apparently. I had no idea about that law. And LA fires renewed debate over prescribed burns and fire preparedness in California. Yeah, it turns out not having any water filtering through into the fire hydrants. Bad idea. Oof. Oof. So pretty much California has this on and off thing where they keep banning controlled burns. And the reason that we have controlled burns in the first place is to burn out all of the flammable brush. That way it doesn't end up starting a wildfire. That way people can, you know, find out, be prepared, and then start the burn. You know, it's that simple. The natives have been doing it for a very long time, too. But no, we've got to save this dipshit species of arachnoid. Poor things. Some shit like that. Some hippy-dippy bullshit. So people can feel better about themselves while they're sipping on their mocha lattes. Prescribed fire is one of the best tools California has to prevent forest fires from exploding out of control. While the use of controlled burns to reduce vegetation and wildfire risk has increased in recent years, experts say much more needs to be done across California. In October, KQED reported on the U.S. Forest Service's decision to halt prescribed burns in California. A directive officials said was meant to preserve staff and equipment to fight wildfires. The pause occurred during the crucial fall window for controlled burns, raising concerns that it could increase long-term fire risks. The story has been circulating on the internet this week. The fires in Los Angeles have been politicized online as people search for politicians and policies to blame and for evidence to reinforce personal beliefs. Well, yeah, you drained all the water out of the fire hydrants. So, yeah, the people in charge of the fire hydrants are kind of the ones you need to be blaming right now. And the ones who banned controlled burns. Those are the people to blame. Even if the U.S. Forest Service had continued to allow burning, it would not have prevented this week's devastation from deadly fires that have destroyed thousands of homes. The fires we are seeing are primarily spreading through urban areas, with the possible exception of the Eaton Fire, which is burning in part on federal forest lands. I wouldn't rule it out completely. I'll admit, I don't know how this fire started. If anyone here does, then make sure to comment it. but I'm completely clueless to that. Given the wind, weather, and location of the fire, it's unlikely a controlled burn would have stopped the disaster. The house's surrounding vegetation are fuels in communities that were not designed for fire resilience when they were planned decades ago. There's vegetation all around homes and trees overlapping, and residents love the beauty and the look of that. See, that's the issue. That's the issue. We gotta get rid of these retards who say, oh, but the vegetation, said Michael Gallner, a researcher and fire expert at UC Berkeley. But when a fire comes through, it has a clear path to just keep propagating through the community. Well, yeah, you gotta get rid of some of that vegetation, dipshit. So what would have helped? Maybe get rid of the vegetation. Living in communities prepared for fire. How to prepare isn't a mystery. It just takes convincing residents to get their communities involved. I hope that emerging from this disaster can be a much more serious conversation around fuels and community design, said Michael Wara, a climate and energy expert at Stanford University. California and the federal government have poured a lot of money into fire resilience, but there is room for much more, Wara said. For example, the state has taken steps to ramp up prescribed fire, but there have not been many burns next to communities. There has been more investment in fuels management crews, but less investment in enforcing tough, defensible space codes, like having a 5-foot buffer of non-combustible materials around a house, what experts called Zone O. When area rebuilds after fire, adopting stringent requirements such as using fire-resistant materials and requiring 30 feet between buildings, helping neighborhoods prepare for the next fire. Yeah. Okay, now we're on to fire prevention. Yeah, this is just legalize controlled burns. It's that simple. It's that simple. This wouldn't have happened. I could have saved it. The California forests. I could have done it all by myself. Also, I do remember California wildfires like a couple of years ago, and people were spreading videos of people in the woods actively with gas cans, just shaking them out onto the forest floor. Man, those people deserve a bullet to the head. In my opinion. I'm not advocating for anything here. Those are just my emotions. But yeah, pretty much California will always be burning, in my opinion. And I'm right. Because, yeah. LA's on fire. Anyway, I know it's a pretty short stream, but thanks for watching, you guys. I'll catch